because we have a really
Okay. Well, we have to ask. We got to ask him what his dirty little secret candy is.
Well, just ask him what his dirty little. You introduce him and ask him what his dirty little secret is.
All right. So maybe he's got other ones. Maybe he talks about Fight Club. So this is what's going on. We have a bipolar world happening in baseball in Chicago. It is crazy right now what is going on with the White Sox, and nobody seems to realize. No one, which by the way happened in 2005. I remember sitting there at the beginning of August looking at my husband going, does no one realize how good this team is? It's exactly the same. The crowds aren't there yet. Buy your tickets now. The water is warm. We welcome you to come to the South Side. In the meantime, the North Side, the Cubs have done everything, like, aside from gone scorched earth. They just decimated all of their people. And so we decided to bring on Jon Zaghloul. I had to make sure I pronounced it. There's two L's, but they're not together. We welcome Jon on to talk about all of the things that are going on in sport. Jon, welcome to the Hand in Front Show.
Hi, Hand in Front. Great to be on with you guys, and very much looking forward to all of this baseball talk.
All right, but first, what's your dirty little secret candy?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Sour Patch Kids. When I used to when I used to be in college in person at the University of Chicago, it would be like once a week, usually Friday night, Saturday nights when I didn't have to record anything or, do a podcast or a broadcast. I'd go down to the vending machine. It'd be like 9, 10 o'clock. I'd saunter downstairs while I'd be doing my laundry. And I'd go get a giant bag of Sour Patch Kids. I'd down the whole thing in about 5 minutes. So, a little bit too much information there. But
that's good. Jon, that's a dirty little secret. And
that's okay. You're one of us now.
Yeah, Jon is the host of Sport Talk Chicago. Yeah. You can hear him on the radio on his own show. We'll talk about that. But before we do that, so you've got kind of this interesting two-phase life, Jon. One of the parts of the life is a University of Chicago student. And as anybody in the world knows, you don't get into the University of Chicago, you don't do well in the University of Chicago if you're not really smart, both academically and street smart, and have a global perspective of the world. So how does a broadcaster, a sports broadcaster, end up at the University of Chicago? And what the heck are you doing there?
That's a great question. I wanted to try and stay somewhere within the state just to stay close to family. So I applied to the University of Chicago, a couple of other schools as well. And, I was fortunate enough to get in. It was kind of a surprise. I mean, I had decent enough test scores and all that stuff, but I really didn't think I had a good enough chance to get in there. But I did, which was great. And, since then I've been studying economics over there. I'm about to be a fourth-year student, so I'm going to finish up right in March. And I'm also doing broadcasting there, obviously doing my own show and all of that. So it's a nice balance in getting a great education and balancing economics, but also getting to do a lot of great things over there. I used to host a radio show on student radio before the pandemic, obviously, and that kind of went away. I'm going to be calling football and basketball for them for this upcoming year, and I've done that the past couple of years as well. So it's a great opportunity to get some on-air reps, no question, but also get a great education and, find a way to balance out the rigorous academic standards for sure with what I want to do.
Well, when you're walking down the hall or you're outside in one of the many beautiful quads of Hyde Park, are you hearing whispers in your ear, hey, that's the radio guy. That's the sports guy. But we let him in here anyway.
I do hear that a little bit, actually. Everybody knows me as the sports guy. Everyone knows, that's the guy who has his podcast, and now it's a radio show and all that stuff. I'm probably the only person there who takes that much of an interest in sports. I'm sure both of you know how it is over there, mostly academics, not really an emphasis on sports at all. So a lot of people know me for that, and I have no problem with that being my identity, obviously.
Well, first, congratulations, because a lot of people also know you because you've been featured in the latest issue of Illinois Entertainer, which is not some small feat of it's not some small accomplishment. So congratulations, because it kind of tells your life story, if you can have a life story at the age of 21. So what isn't in that article that we should know about you?
Oh, that's a really good question. Probably I would say that it took me a long time to really get going. My first 13 podcasts I ever did were by myself, and I mean, they were horrible. You could go on my website and still find them at sportstalkchicago.com. And they are just very, very bad. When I was 14 years old, trying to, use whatever setup I had to put out some content. So it took a very long time to get my first guest, who was Glenn Casper. And since then, obviously things grew. But I mean, there was a lot of hard work put in just to, self-teach myself how to podcast at that young an age, then learn how to recruit guests, learn how to book guests, which I know you guys know that plight as well.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't easy at all. And that's probably something that was not necessarily covered in the article. But it was a long journey for sure to get to where I am now. There's still much more growth to be done as well.
All right. Now that you set this up for me, I've got to take that segue, because a long growth journey is exactly what the Cubs. Do you see what I did there, Fred? That's exactly what I know. That's a good segue. But not an unpainful process for Fred to be on. I personally walked south years and years and years ago. So but I feel the pain. I understand. What are the Cubs doing? How long is it going to take before they're back?
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think a lot of fans have overreacted because you're losing a lot of your core players, which of course is unfortunate.
I call that pulling a Moises Alou.
Exactly. That's exactly what they did. They got rid of everybody. They totally cleaned house, and
the fans freaked.
Yeah. I've been calling for this since 2019. I was one of the first people who said, "Hey, you know what? This core really isn't working anymore. Let's try and retool on the fly." Maybe it could have taken a year or two, and now it looks like it's going to be a full-blown rebuild, which means this could take, I would say, at least 3 to 4 years. But a part of the story that I think was buried is that they got back 12 top 30 prospects. For all of these trades, 12 top 30 prospects. Now, does that mean all of them are going to work out? Probably not, no. But that's a pretty nice haul for giving up a lot of your core. I mean, you are really setting yourself up for the future. And in 3 or 4 years, you could have another legitimate World Series core. But obviously, we have to see how they play out and how they develop.
But did the Cubs do it do they do it in the right way? Because if you're a Rizzo fan, I know Hannah's shaking her head going, grow up, put your big boy pants on. Rizzo's gone. And yeah, he's gone. He went to the Yankees and hit a home run the first.
They all hit home runs.
Yeah, they all hit home runs. So John, you got to defend me here. I get it that it's a business, and I get it that it's a business decision, but when people like Rizzo have done what they've done and bringing a World Series to Chicago.
And then underachieved for the next 4 seasons.
You don't have to put in every single fact, Hannah. John, go with me on this one. Did they do it the right way, or doesn't it matter?
I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. I just think that whatever is best for their future is what needed to be done. Now, it's unfortunate. These guys are all going to be considered legends. Whether they have the numbers or not, it doesn't matter. I understand they won a World Series, broke the 108-year curse. So, I mean, they were a great team, no question. And a lot of these guys had good peaks. Maybe they didn't have long Hall of Fame-worthy careers, but they had good peaks in Cubs uniforms. And maybe they should have been treated better, I would say. They should have been treated better. But at the end of the day, it is a business. They weren't performing. That was pretty apparent even from 2018, 2019, 2020, and then this year. So I think the timing was right to pull the plug. And I think that, in the next couple of years, you will see a good Cubs team again once all these guys develop. I firmly believe that. I think they know what they're doing, especially Jed Hoyer, a guy who manufactured the first rebuild, did a great job, obviously. I trust him to do it again right.
Did Theo Epstein know that this team was going down before they were going back up and decided I better get out before the ship sinks?
I mean, I don't know Theo myself, but you'd have to think he did. I don't understand why you would just leave knowing, that nothing is going to happen. he probably saw the writing on the wall like everybody else did. And he knew that, eventually none of these guys were going to perform anymore. All these contracts were expiring.
All right,
that was
John,
already known.
John,
hang on tight.
Yeah, we've got to go to break. It's Hannah and Fred show on WIMS. More with Jon Zaghloul. Okay. Stay tuned.